Hi, I'm James Russell with Crown Millwork, and I'm here to teach you a simple, easy way to read a tape measure. This particular tape measure, as you look at the front of it, has a number 25. Yours might have a 10, a 15, a 12. That represents the longest distance it will go. And right to the side of it, you'll see a little hash mark that represents feet. It's important that we use a tape measure for this lesson that measures inches and feet. Another way to tell is to open the tape measure, and on the 12-inch mark, you will also see a 1 foot mark. It's important that we use the correct tape measure. If you're using metric, this lesson will totally confuse you. So, the numbers in between, pardon me, not the numbers, but the hash marks in between each number are very small on a tape measure. They're not numbered. Hard to read on a tape measure, so I've drawn it on a wall, a little bit bigger, so that hopefully it makes it easier for you to learn to read what those little hash marks represent. So on the wall behind me, I've got the 3-inch and the 4-inch marks represented, and in between I've got all those little black marks to represent the tape measure. Each inch is divided up into 16 pieces. Each little black mark represents an equal piece. If you can count to 16, you can read a tape measure. Each mark is an increment of 1, so 1/16, 2/16, 3/16, 4/16. Another way to say it is 1, 2, 3, 4. You just count up and then stick that number over the 16, and you have given an accurate measurement. Carpenters will use 1/8, 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, 5/8, 7/8. The way they do that is they know what each one of these little marks represents, and that is the reduction of the 16th fraction. If you don't use a tape measure all the time, or if you're not very adept with fractions, and most of us aren't, then simply remember to count to whatever number the black line represents on your measurement and put that over 16. So if we counted to this line right here, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 over 16. So you would tell someone I have 3 and 8/16. A carpenter will reduce that fraction and know that it's a half. The mathematical system for reducing those fractions is down here below, and I put it here so that you would understand a little bit how we get to 1/8, 1/4, 5/8. So as you look at this chart, I've counted to the 2/16 mark, and down here I've written 2/16, and we divide it by its lowest common divisible number, and that's the number 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 16 divided by 2 is 8 for 1/8. Up here I've got 4/16. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what I've done is taken the 4/16 down here and divided them by 4. Once again, the lowest common denominator. And 4 divided by 4 is 1. 16 divided by 4 is 4 for a fraction of 1/4. Now this particular one here, the 10/16 mark, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. My wife always has trouble with, she remembers 10/16, but even though she's pretty good with the tape, she forgets that it's also 5/8. The way you come about that with the mathematical formula is to divide the 10 by 2 to get 5, and the 16 by 2 to get 8, or 5/8. But it doesn't really matter. If you tell me, and she tells me, 10/16, I know what that number is. So you can tell your wife, you can tell your husband, you can tell a carpenter, you can tell a contractor, any one of these numbers over 16, and they should be able to figure out exactly what the measurement is perfectly. Now there's a simple trick my wife does when she's up in this area on the tape. Rather than count all the way up, she counts backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then subtracts that from 16 for 10. And we know that 10/16 is the correct measurement, also known as 5/8. If you counted from up here and went 1, 2, 3, and then subtracted 3 from 16, you would get 13/16, which is the correct measurement. Doesn't matter if you go backwards and subtract, or if you count it all the way up to the 13. Either way, you have the right measurement. Now, this is a pretty simple way to read. You don't have to memorize anything other than 16, and I think we can all count to that. You don't have to memorize the other fractions, the 8ths, the quarters, the 3/4, the 1/2 inch, none of that. Just remember 16, count each mark, put it over 16, and you've got the right measurement. Let me know what you think about this video. how well I've done, how poorly I've done, if I've confused you, because that's not what I want to do. think it was like take 54 or something. We're not very good at this, but we're giving it a shot. And I'll be doing some more videos on other household, I would say carpentry type items. How to install crown molding, how to put in a handle set on your door if you want a new handle set, or how to replace a door, which is a little more difficult. Some of these will be on YouTube, some of them will be on DVD, so that they're easy for you to get at, but they're kind of long and YouTube won't be long enough to show you all the tricks and tips. I've been doing it a long time and I'd like to give this stuff away. So some of this stuff is going to be readily available on YouTube, other stuff a little too long, you'll have to order it. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there are other things you'd like me to show you, teach you. I like to think of things that are very difficult, make them simple, and then give it away to somebody. Everything is not difficult in carpentry. It's not rocket science. It just takes a lot of experience, and you can't have experience without going through the process. I've done that for you, and I can break it down for you. So if you like what you see, or if you have questions, or you have particular things you'd like to ask me to teach, just contact me at my website, which is www.crown-millwork.com. The dash is like a phone number dash. So email me, and let's see if we can do this better the next time. I'm James Russell with Crown Millwork. Thank you very much.